Hello and welcome to the West Ham Network. Today's video is brought to you in association with our lovely friends at Surfshark. Now, the Euros are just around the corner. It's holiday season soon, my friends, and you'll not want to miss any of the football or your favourite TV programmes when you're on holiday, wherever you are in the world. You want to watch them on your devices when you want, where you want. And you won't have to scroll through hotel TV trying to find something to watch while you're getting ready for your night out. Surfshark can help you. Surfshark is a VPN, a virtual private network, which allows you to change your location. So you could be on the beach in Ibiza and watching UK restricted content, such as maybe the England coverage on BBC iPlayer or the latest episode of Bridgerton or Love Island. Surfshark has data protection capabilities, which make sure your private messages, your videos, your photos, and other sensitive material are protected. You can use it on as many devices as you like, even if they're being used at the same time. It's available on platforms such as iOS, Android, Fire TV, etc., etc. And because our friends at Surfshark are so nice and lovely, they're giving West Ham Network viewers 4 months free if you use the code West Ham Network. There's also a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's really no excuses not to give them a try. There's a link in the video description below. We'd like to thank Surfshark once again for sponsoring the video. And let's crack on with it. Yes, everybody, Russ of the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. Yes, Surfshark. If you're on holiday, maybe for the weekend when it's coming home, you want to watch one of our foreign-based fans, and you want to watch English coverage of the game, use it. Description in below. But it is Friday. And Friday means one thing. Friday means it is time for Have You Say Friday, where we do, everyone new to the channel, what we do is on a Friday is we leave it open to you guys to talk about what you want to talk about. Use about football, use about West Ham, but maybe you want to talk about it's coming home or not. Maybe you want to talk about pre-season. Maybe you want to talk about the rumours. Maybe you want to talk about maybe the impending arrival of maybe John Duran, maybe from Aston Villa. That's the idea. So we're going to go through, get a few comments, and then crack on. What we're going to also do is put in the link. So you can join us in 2 ways. You can obviously, or 3 ways you can comment. Or what you can do is you can put this little thing in your browser and you can join us on screen. Or what you can do is the number where you can phone in and we can have a chat. We can have a chinwag. We can put the world to rights. Right, let's go through some comments quickly. Let me just quickly do this as well. Apologies for being a minute or two late, and also apologies for doing it at 12:45, not 12:30. But first world problems. I had to take the dog to the groomers, so little Bella had to have a haircut. So there we go. What a shame, but she is looking great. Right, let's crack up at the beginning. William, good afternoon to you. Stefan, hope you're well. It's coming home. In Tim we trust. He'll bring our new stars home. It's literally coming home. The Premier League is coming home, is it, Stefan? I like it. Hopefully Duran is coming home. By all accounts, that will not be happening until obviously after the final of the Copa America, which Colombia are in. But that's what we're led to be believed. And if we're led to be believed, also, they have, if you want to sort of read between the lines, Cameron Archer, who was on loan as a Villa player, he was on loan to Sheffield United last year. They're not selling him. They were thinking of maybe selling him to Sheffield United. That's not happening now. So maybe they're planning for a Duran free zone next year. Rob, hope you're well. Afternoon, Michael. I've been down there. I've been Brighton, not Brighton, Bournemouth. Very different place. Cleaning the beach for our company away day. How exciting! I've had lots of cigarette butts. There we go. Can England shithouse the Euros like Moyes did? Quite possibly. Although I thought they played bloody well. I thought they played a good game against the Dutch. It was a really, really exciting game. And when's the last time we could say that? KWP as well, a bit of luck. Yeah, possibly. Possibly. We're led to be believed that Southampton looks like they're going to be buying the AZ Alkmaar right back, Japanese international Zakawara, who we were linked with last summer, I think, when we were linked with a few Japanese players after the Asian Cup. And that is presumed to be his replacement in terms of KWP. I think Southampton are trying to pull a fast one at the moment. So once that's all been realised in terms of all the money, they wanted £10 million, wasn't it, or 15 million, 10 million plus Flynn Downs. I'd take a straight swap, to be honest. Indeed, rather Wan-Bissaka to be H is better, but Saints want more. How does that work? I don't know. First preseason. It's Monday, Adrian. It's Monday. It'll be live on YouTube. Monday the 15th, 2 p.m. We play. I've got it up. Who do we play? We play Ferencváros. I think it's actually a 3 o'clock kickoff in the UK, and it's live on YouTube. It's not really a proper first pre-season as such. It's more as a result of being in Austria, but apparently there's a couple of them we'll be doing. So keep an eye on that. It was Michael, 10 months. Congratulations. Hope England can bring it home. I'm at Hyde Park with my daughter during the final. Wanted to do like what I did with the Killers. How cool was that? With the Killers? Fair play to Brandon Flowers and the gang, showing it live on screen. And then I've been watching a few. I think John Bishop, he's got like a show on Sunday, and they're going to be doing it early afternoon. So he doesn't, because he said, I'm not going to be doing it at 8 o'clock. I'm going to be watching the Euros final. So there we go. Any transfers? Well, maybe, Michael. Maybe. Not outs, not transfers out, maybe transfers in. Wait and see. Some exciting news to go into the new season with. Hopefully we will secure the signing of a few new people potentially, and a bit of and a few announcements and stuff. All good stuff. All increasing the West Ham Network family. Why are they trying to do this to fans? No idea, Adam. No idea, mate. We've made our stand on that, haven't we? Spain will find its lot. I totally agree, Daddy. I think we'll get turned over 2-3-0, to be honest, but we never know. Strange things happen. We've got experience, haven't we? The England team has experience of being in a final with the Spanish side. Young lads, some of them. I don't think they've got as much. Maybe. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Well, someone did try to call us then, but then they left. Anyway, if that was you, come back on. Be positive. A bit worried about Jinx Harry never winning a trophy. It is. Although, no, because he sold his gaff, didn't he? He sold his gaff in Sandbanks, so I don't know whether he's still there. To be fair, most of the people I talk with want England to fail, 50-50 on who I want to win. Americans don't have to talk in the European game. Glad we aren't signing Wright Phillips. Wright Phillips? What? Sure, Wright Phillips. Okay. I got very confused then. I hope you're all good. That song is a curse. Don't say it aloud. Us. What curse? What song do I sing? I don't know what I'm singing. We were in the physical war, but they were in the skills war indeed. So it's what comes out. Oh, are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, actually. They've got the best DM in the world, Pedri, and England are the second best in Wooler Rice. You mean, yeah, in terms of Rodri, not Pedri. Percy, I would tell Saints do one and keep Downs. Martin said he was the best player last season, and now they are lowballing. Of course, they're lowballing it. They're trying to. We do it, innit? We do it all the time, and we signed Max Kilman for 40 million. Our first bid was 25. Everybody does it, but I think when it's done against you, you're like, what? That's fucking ridiculous. That's what you do in negotiations. You lowball them, and sometimes you do get away with one. But everyone's done it. Chris, the East End poet. Check him out on Twitter. Lovely man, Chris. Eventually, we will get him on the channel. My Lakeside buddy. I'm missing the final on Saturdays. We're flying out on holiday, and we're coming back a few days before. How's my luck? Unbelievable, Christopher. You are, and it's not you ain't got time on your hands, mate. You can sort it out. Maybe based on how posh you're flying, you might have live coverage on the flight. Some flights do. Some flights do because it'll be on plenty of things. You might be lucky. Be quiet though, I imagine in the what's the name? Be quiet in the airport. But and then we fly, and then obviously they fly it to Tampa, don't they? At the end of the month. Still trying to see if they need a hand carrying some bags or something. I could do with that because Flo and Joe are away for a little girly couple of weeks. So it'd be nice to have gone out there, but nah. Unless someone's paid for me, of course. Chris, you want to pay for me? No. What you know now? Would you still move, or would you stay at Upton Park? From a logistic standpoint, I've always thought London Stadium is the most connected stadium in Europe. So I think people forget that sort of trudge in the rain down to Green Street, down to Upton Park, and then if that's shut, you have to trudge all the way back to Barking. Doesn't happen there now. From a infrastructure point, as I said, it was falling apart. It was falling apart. Hello.
It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football's coming home.
You can't help him, can you? You can't help him. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. Since we had the smallest squad, if we get Duran in, need another midfielder. If we lose 3 players, John, I think honestly, I think as I said, I think I'm looking at this 2-pronged attack in terms of the squad development, and for me, it's getting to a position by the end of August where we've got a squad which is fit for the Premier League. Of course, we haven't got Europe, and then, to be honest, next summer, hopefully, we'll have a good season, be in Europe for the following season, and then develop the squad there. I think we'll be utilising a lot of the youth team as well in terms of the squad. We know there's loads of them out there. They've all gone out there in terms of Austria, not just the likes of Earthy, Casey, but Orford's out there, and a few of the goalkeepers are out there, and Julie Robinson's out there, and PK's out there, and Callum's out there, and Sean's out there. So there's plenty out there, and I think they'll have an opportunity to impress. And we know that part of the criteria for why we're going to be bringing in, why Julian was brought in, was in terms of the criteria Tim was looking for, was someone who would develop youth team. And I think we'd save a bit of money by bringing in the likes of George. That's a backup option on your setup. Caelan's a backup option, not centre half. Julie Robinson's really a backup option on your left side, on your right side rather. Lewis Orford. So I think we'll end up doing that. Tell them 20 minutes of Granny Dings. Well, apparently Dings don't want to go. Don't want to go, apparently. Give down his chance, having to lose. Well, there could be, because I think for his sake, if he went to Ipswich or Southampton, he'll be playing regular Premier League football week in, week out. He's only a week younger than Declan Rice, remember. If he does it at West Ham, he might get the first couple of games, and Alvarez comes back, and the likelihood is he gets dropped for Alvarez. So for his development, where if he played regular football in the Premier League, who knows what could happen in terms of England aspirations and stuff. Stranger things have happened at sea. So I think, that's very similar to the Ben Johnson thing. I was annoyed from a club perspective that we didn't keep him, but from a player perspective, he will be playing regular football at Ipswich, which is something West Ham couldn't guarantee him. We could guarantee him some game time, but not loads of game time. I just pay you the money for Cape and just move on after that. I think we'll end up almost doing a straight swap or a couple of million rather than 15. I've heard of Pedri. Who's the other fella? What? Rodri. Don't know who will win, but I've got my beer on the sideboard here. I don't care who he comes around here. I can speak Spanish, so a little more close to Spain, but on the other hand, Bowen is doing the English one, hence why. Indeed. Do you see the club put out the 2-1 through to the final? Bowen didn't play. Oh, dear, bless him. And also, actually, speaking of finals, Andy Lopthorne, disabled tennis player. He's on semi-final today. for Wimbledon. So check that out if you're on BBC. And if you're not, then go on to Surfshark. And if you're outside the country, and download Surfshark with 4 months free. And you can watch BBC coverage of Wimbledon and watch Andy hopefully get another hammer through to a final. Andy's a top bloke, available on the channel ages. We'll get him back on soon after that. Anthony West is an England fan. He's an England fan. He's not a Scottish fan at all. He's an England fan. Afternoon all. John has a silly pick. Why not use his real face like me? Fair enough. We can't wait till we get back into Europe, start coping with the rest stuff. Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is I think we'll get enough to have a decent Premier League squad, plus utilising the youth team because obviously they don't count. We don't have to name them in the 25-man squad if they're under the age of 21, 18, something like that. Can't remember. But I think we'll get. I think you'll have. I think what's name will come in. I think Kyle Walker-Peters will come in. I think Duran will come in. I think potentially Wesley will come in, but I think Wesley will come in January. And then I think we'll end up getting maybe a couple of, not to say free transfers, but cheaper transfers in who are good players who could make it. I still think we'll get another centre half in if Aguirre goes. Possibly Todibo, probably John Clare. He has a preference apparently for Juventus, but if Juventus only want to get him on loan rather than spend money, Nice are going to tell him to fuck off. So, what I like about Kyle Walker-Peters as well is he can cover left and right wings, right full back. So that makes sense. I think Ings has been told that he's in his plans. I think he's been told that he'll get game time. I don't think he'll be in his plans because, by nature, the way Lopetegui's going to be playing, according to Rashane, friend of the channel, from The Athletic, and we talk about this in a little bit more detail at Hammer's Headlines, but in essence, he's going to play with a target man, like a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 more likely. But with that in place, that's why someone like Duran is someone who's a bit more of a target man. Granny isn't. Not at all. Now, the fact is Obama's not around now, so he would be back up. Antonio's still around at the moment, so I don't know where he would get much game time. Apart from, as Barry said, he's making the mascot. How many have been given squad numbers at rest? We won't know until the squad comes out, but you pretty much can guess 2 of them already. Possibly 3. I think Orford. I think Ollie Scars is still. I think he's still injured actually. So I think Kalen. I think George. I think Orford. Freddie as well. Freddie Potts. I imagine he'll be getting his squad number this year. Unless these guys get on loan, So Michael Forbes, obviously, Northern Ireland international centre half. I like him. Very good player. He's gone obviously to Bristol City on loan. Actually, Hammer's Headlines, we talk about the academy in a bit more detail because we've had some good news and actually I think some positive news in terms of where the club's going in terms of the sort of forward momentum in the shape of us securing. Hopefully, technically he doesn't sign a professional deal till he's 16, but one of our sort of brightest stars in the academy, Chinezwa Nwosu, and that's beating the likes of City, United, amongst others, to get him signed on professional. So that to me is a great sign of intent, because we've seen players and academy players leave, but for him to stay, he must like what he's hearing in terms of the likes of Tim, Nobes, Julien, all those types of things. Yes, we are. So the latest UEFA ratings come up. I thought I had it here. Puts West Ham. I thought I had it. Yeah, it puts West Ham on coefficient scores. It puts us at 80. Yeah, 16th. 16th. That will go down next year because we're not in Europe this year. But yeah, above Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Arsenal, Napoli, Atalanta, Milan, Juventus, Sevilla, Eintracht Frankfurt, Lazio, Lille. I'm just picking out some names of the hat. Spurs at 45, and we're 18th. So yeah, we're just below Benfica actually tied of Benfica, but Benfica in the Europe this year. We're 1 point behind Man United. Love it. I think if we lose Downs, it will come back to haunt us. Maybe will, but I think the trouble is, William, I think sometimes we assume a player's. Now, I'm not saying Flynn's a great. We bought Flynn as one of the best players in the Championship. He played well when he played. I wouldn't say he was outstanding, but again, he wasn't played in the right position, so I'll give him benefit of doubt. He then goes back to the Championship with Southampton, and he's one of the best players in the Championship again. Maybe he might be one of those players. He might be like a Burnley, too good for the Championship, but maybe not top tier in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Sort of hovers, but I don't think he'll get that opportunity to shine that at West Ham, to show what he can do and shine in terms of his abilities. I think he'll get that at Southampton. It's not because I don't like him. Love Flynn, West Ham boy, but for his own benefit more than anything. Physically wise, looks ready to step up. I totally agree, and that's where a low move works. So that's worked for him, and I think I personally next year, rather than necessarily give someone like Orford a squad number and sit on the bench and play 21s, I said Orford out, maybe to Wickham, and just because that's worked. And Lewis is a fantastic player, but for me, he just needs a bit more bulking up, a bit more toughening up. But that's not definitely not a slight on his skill level at all. He's miles ahead of the likes of Thomas Souček for that. What's going to happen? What's going to happen to the three lions if we actually win something? After that, maybe just see that Wolves rejected £21 million bid from what? Is available to. Should we? I think we're more likely to have got Sergio Gomez than Cancelo. Bit of a bad apple by all accounts, isn't it? But I just think I think he's. I mean, the profile of the player. I mean, he's over the age of 30. You'll be replacing one 30-year-old for another 30-year-old. Granted, probably a better 30-year-old. I'd rather us invest that money in that. Maybe someone like Kyle Walker-Peters. Maybe someone like Raul Benavova. There's some really good fullbacks there. Archie Brown from Ghent, left fullback, really good. Both scored the winner last 10. Be brilliant. Wolves from Marseille, from Lee Chang. Good player, Lee Chang. I like him. With these new signings and one still to come, our team is going to be smashing it. I think so, mate. I think so. If Cole Palmer... What's happening there? Why is that not showing? My computer's gone. There we go. Cole Palmer can't get game time. I doubt Bowen will. But yeah, you're right. And actually, Bowen got that push in the first game, wasn't it? With Cole Palmer on the bench. And I think Cole's come on and done really well. I really like Cole Palmer. He's a great player. We'll do a video about new kits. Well, what about the new kits? I like them. What do you think? Bowen there, so Gareth can get a cameo in EastEnders. Come on, Northern Ireland lads. Afternoon, Leslie. I hope you're well. He's overrated. If we lose him, if we lose him, someone else is easily replaceable. I tend to agree. What do you think we'll do, Andy Irvine? I think we'll keep him in the squad, and maybe if a club come in for him, like another Austrian Super League club, maybe send him out. That's what I mean. You've got him really now, and arguably you can get more money for Flynn than Andy, so that makes sense. Think Force went to Rovers. Would like to see. He did indeed. Yeah, Bristol Rovers. Go to Middlesbrough, and Orford go to Wickham. There we go. Strikers for Fana Duran. Then let's hope BS. Fafana did well, I think. Did he score against us when he was playing for Burnley? I've got a feeling he did at home. Duran, I think, is one of those players where, and I was listening to something that Alex, friend of the channel, there'll see a lot more of Alex next season. Whereas he was saying something on his TikTok that, it's a 40 or 35 or whatever we're pay million for Duran is a risk, but where we thought that Danny Ings was a great investment at £15 million and it turned out to be a nightmare, I think if the manager wants him, who are we to judge? And it's only in hindsight that we can judge whether something's been a success or not. Don't forget the whole Craig Dawson thing. And actually, Craig Dawson helped us get Max Kilman over the line because apparently Max phoned him up and was asking him about West Ham and he was waxing lyrically about him. Just sort of Timmy Hortons. Oh, were you Lakeside? Never been there. I have the OG kit. New kit saves me some pennies. Very good. Doing a family tree, we'll trace back Potts' ancestry to see if we're related. I've just started to do that actually. Just getting into that again. Very interesting. He was born in Massachusetts, I believe, or he has Massachusetts parents. Something like that in terms of Steve. Webberley, great to see you. Thanks for the line, mate. We come on a Friday. Why have we not had a welcome? Because we signed him last year, Ellen. We signed him last year, although we never really. The only reason we knew we signed him was something on transfer market, when it mental. Toby's in the house, and I see it providing the same stats as Bowen would suit us. Yeah, I mean I think it's like 100 grand a week or 90 grand a week it was. So if he sorts that out, I've got a feeling they'll probably let him go. He has signed a new deal recently. I think he signed a new deal last year in a similar thing to the way we signed a deal for now. So basically we got something for him rather than let him leave this summer on the free. So I think he's a good player. I think it's these players when they have, we've seen them be bit part players at clubs, and I think, if we have another arm around them, and it, again, fits the profile of the type of player that Tim likes. Tim likes the type of player who is not 100% on top of their game yet. They might have failed at another club. And I would say Reece has failed, but he's failed to get minutes, regular minutes at Arsenal. And maybe a different club, different change, different shirt, different management style. Being, a relatively, not maybe it's not a starter as such, but being in the first team squad regularly could make a big difference to him. There's a few wingers about I think we're after, and I think. But we're the same. Obviously, we let Ben Rama go. Fulham let Bobby Cordova Reed go. So they'll be looking around for. And I think there's going to be a lot of us scrabbling around with the same people for the same players. Is what it is, isn't it? Is what it is. But hopefully, the old project that Tim shows and talks to the players about is the big difference. See Longello, Manuel Longello left for. I was a bit gutted about him because he made that fantastic appearance, didn't he, in the Europa League, and it was brilliant. Best player. And yeah, I was gutted. So I thought he would have been a good one. But then, he's gone to Birmingham, did okay at Birmingham, was in and out the side, and now he's gone to Barnsley. Good luck to him. Hopefully he gets plenty of football. Excited to be linked to Duran. Hopefully he will play like a Views to Kill, indeed. His name is Rio and he dance. I hope he's hungry like the wolf. Very good. That is the target line when he scores the winner against Wolves, isn't it? Hungry like the Wolves or something like that. No shirt. What are you talking about? Well, always be the same. Must greedy sits by everyone stop progressing. Wonder why some of these players move to them to sit on the bench or just get. I think the answer you're looking for, Michael, is money. That's the idea you're looking for. Money. That's the reason. They can play the big money where we can't. But I think, and as I said, we've had lots of situations now where we get to a point where players decide they don't want to be part of that, sitting on the bench. They want to progress. They want minutes. And indeed, we've, likes of back in the day, the likes of Lee Odgies and people like that we've spoken to who decided to take the sort of leap of faith and move across to maybe drop down a division or two and have a very good career and still make money. Even at League One, League Two, they're still, some of these clubs are still paying decent wages. I suppose it just depends about how. Just depends how people about the motivations, really, isn't it? We haven't had a bad boy for a while. We could do for Duran, by all accounts. He's a bit sort of led to be believed. Slight, maybe attitude issues, but again, maybe that he moved from MLS where he was playing regularly for Chicago, wasn't it? Chicago Fire. Goes to Aston Villa, thinks that's it. Has had a bit part. I mean, he's got Ollie Watkins ahead of him as well. So I just think it's again a different approach, different management style. We spoke yesterday about Lopetegui's sort of already laying down the law in terms of no mobile phones and how the team travel and things like that. And maybe that's what someone like Duran needs. Maybe we don't know. He's apparently very keen to work with Julien, so that's a good thing. Is it looking likely we're going to keep JWP now, Russ? I don't know, mate. Don't know. I think so. There's someone like Southampton coming from. I don't know who would buy him more than anything. Just can't see where he'd fit in anywhere else. Money does not. Very true, but money fills the bank up, doesn't it? That's what people genuinely want. And it is a job. It is a job, for me, I could easily have progressed and gone to other companies, maybe earn more money, but there's a level of job satisfaction as well and where you are. So it's the same to them. It's their job, isn't it? It's their job. And I think sometimes we forget that. I could see JP go back to Southampton. Not unless they take Ings. They get him cheap. We have again a bit of a bad boy. Well, not a bad boy. He's a guy who throws his toys out the pram, really, and doesn't want to, and I can see it. I can get how his sort of mentality was, particularly last year. I genuinely believe that he would be perfect for this new way we're playing, and I still think I really think there's an opportunity for him to maintain some sort of presence in the club, but it's up to him. Right, everyone's says wouldn't even leave if I was I mean, even with Ings, even with a money perspective, we apparently even offered to pay some of his wages, subsidise some of his wages with Southampton, but yep. His salary is worse than the transfer fee, £15 million wasted. It seemed, I thought at the time it seemed to make, he was a proven Premier League striker, was excited, always liked Danny Ings, but it just didn't work out. Sometimes things don't work out, wrong formation, wrong style of play, can't really play. But I mean, towards the end of last season, with his cameos, I thought he looked arguably some of the best football he's played under wearing a West Ham shirt, and that's saying something. Didn't really score much, but was playing more as a 10, really, which you think surely your attributes are get up the far end and put it in the old onion bag rather than coming deep for the ball. But again, that was the way we played. His salary, I said that one, costing us more than Phillips, 35 more than Kudus, indeed. If we all put our money together, it wouldn't even be 1 million. Ings wasn't played correctly. But, Matt, I just don't think he'll, even under Lopetegui, for me, he's not suited to the way Lopetegui plays. Lopetegui likes to play with a target man. Is Danny Ings a target man? No. Okay, well, where's Danny Ings going to play then? Now, Danny Ings could be could be the plan B and play off the target man if we're losing, go 2 up front. But so's Callum Marshall. You know what I mean? We basically paid for Ings' hair transplant. That's what we kind of did. If Ings was a 68, I wouldn't be such a bad signing. But he's our second highest earner indeed. Sonny Perkins being loaned out again as well. That's what I mean. It's like, we see when academy players leave, we think the world is coming to an end. However, looking back over time, I don't think we've made a bad call. Possibly with Josh Cullen, maybe. But I think with more of that, that's a case of fortune in the fact that he was playing at Anderlecht, and then Vincent Company went to Burnley, and he went to Burnley, and then they got promoted. And then he's in the Premier League, and then obviously got relegated again. Possibly you could say that's one we've missed out. We missed out on, but have we really? I think we've got better players. Wouldn't say he's a standout star. Even like when Jamal Baptiste, remember him? He was the next best thing. He actually lifted the trophy in the last Betway Cup that took place at London Stadium. Martin Nobles last year, if I remember. He then went to Man City and has since been released by Man City. So I think sometimes we always say, all these academy players are losing. The club keep the ones that lose. Maybe we'll miss it. We'll rue our chances with Divine, but I haven't heard anyone. He hasn't signed for no one yet. Jeremy Ngakia, Grady Diangana, Connor Coventry. The club know what they're doing when it comes to releasing players. Maybe they let one go with Jacob Knightbridge. But, I mean, he's signed for Oxford United now, so he's in the Championship. We'll see how much game time he gets. We'll keep an eye on him. I thought he was a very good player. Don't know. What are your thoughts on Iheanacho? Good squad player. 27. Wouldn't be a starter for me, but if he came on and was a squad player, for me, I'd rather have Iheanacho than Danny Ings, I think, because it's the pace. That's what I think we've lacked, is a lack of pace. Antonio was quick, but not as quick as he was. And then Danny comes on to replace him, who's not quick. That's what I think we miss out on. We've got Kudus, we've got Bowen, we've got Guilherme, we've got some very fast players. And I think then if you look at Duran's he's like a whippet, he can be. Iheanacho's quick. See, a lot of the players being linked with are, their first attribute is probably being fast. And I think that's what we need. All that money wasted, no wonder the club has stopped concessions for OAPs and children. Different pot though, ladders, but I know what you mean. Ings plays best football as a 10. I know, exactly. Same for Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko was slightly different because obviously he didn't, because that was under, the previous but one regime, wasn't it, in terms of Pellegrini? And we paid £18 million for him, didn't we, from Dortmund? And again, it just didn't work out, and it's and we've paid, I don't know, like 20 million for Guilherme. What's the money better spent? I'd say on Guilherme than on Yarmolenko. Same with Grady. We sold him for 19 million. Do you remember that? How crazy it went with Mark Noble coming out and tweeting at the time saying we didn't want him to go and da. That never bit us on the arse at all. I mean, there are a few. I mean, you could look at maybe less safe, but then he's still at Sunderland. Pierre Aguirre at Sunderland. Haven't really moved on. They will be good Championship players. They might get to the Premier League by promotion. You never know. Same as Mbama. I think he'll be the same. He'll end up probably getting to a Championship club. Maybe Sunderland again, and then potentially be promoted. But haven't had anyone banging his jaw down just yet. It may not be the end of the world for us, Sousa. It may not be us, but it often is for them. Very possibly, actually. Speaking of that, if anyone wants a good old holiday read, this book is amazing. Inside the Academy, we had Paul and obviously Callum McNaughton, former West Ham player. We had them on the channel a couple of months or so ago, talking about the players who didn't make it. 97% of Premier League Academy players never play 1 minute of the Premier League. Very true. You're right, Glenn. You're totally right. And actually, we've remember listening to Declan Rice when Declan Rice was released from Chelsea at the age of 14, how devastating that was for him. And it is devastating. But the trouble is, if they're not going to make it, they're not going to make it. That's the harsh reality. And as I said, 97% of Premier League Academy players never play a single minute of Premier League football. Oh, yeah, they will, definitely. Bringing on to 80 minutes. We're talking about that again now. It's good to see that players want to stay and fight for their place under the coach. Yeah. Arthur, do you think players and management are aware why Bet won't be sold out? I'm sure they will be. We know everything that happens on social media to do with West Ham is looked at, is monitored by the club. Of course it is. We know that's the case. I know more than anyone that's the case. So yeah, it's coming home. It's coming home. Says, they might do if they play Jamal. They get a fine as he's 16. If club made the dwarf who's responsible for signing him, made him pay his wages, yeah, maybe. He did, yeah. The Sevilla goal, and also some important goals for the Ukraine, well, the whole Ukraine incident, wasn't it? So, war. So, the goal against Villa, again, a goal against Seville. There's the goal, not in the Ukraine bit, but obviously, remember the last minute win against Chelsea. Yeah, some good, but just not enough. Teams used to give their hand-me-downs for too much money and then try and convince us that there's a favour. Glad they say over. Exactly, Scott. We're getting their ones before they become good. Have you lost weight? I've had my hair cut, and I've cut down a bit on the old Diet Coke. Nothing major, but just gradually. But you see me every day, so unless you don't see me for a couple of weeks, probably not. Do a shave though. Lucy Cornet under Lopetegui. Expect Lopetegui to give him proper chance. Sad to see our fan base didn't see best of him. Hope he gets back to his. Yeah, I do. Even his Burnley days, he played great when he was at Burnley, and was a shining star on the side that got relegated. We'll see, innit? I'm sure. I mean, at the moment, obviously, the non-international players are playing with the squad now. We know that obviously Paqueta's on holiday for a couple of weeks after the Copa America. We know Tim's flying out there to talk about Wesley with Corinthians, but also is going out there to talk to Lucas as well. And then also, the likes of Bowen obviously still involved. Obviously, Areola, although they didn't play, he still gets time off. Obviously, the Czech boys are currently on holiday as well. So it is the opportunity for people like Cornet to get some game time on Monday and give him a run out and see, innit? He could be one that could help us. I mean, Anton is an advocate for Maxwell Cornet. And we'll have to wait and see, innit? Yeah, it hasn't done too bad, but I wouldn't say, we missed the boat there. Is Reece better than what we've got? I don't think so. No disrespect to Reece, great player, loved him. He'd always get every time he went out on loan to someone, ended up being player of the year. Great player. But I just think, did we miss out? I don't think so. Yes, he played for Luton, but they've now been. But he only got Premier League football because he got promoted into there rather than being bought by a Premier League club. But just me, be interested to see. Oh yeah, definitely. We'll have to, Peter, because we haven't got hardly any players. You think that's going to have to give him a proper system to play him with great players around him? Could thrive, could do. I still think for me, he will help out in that left wing, and he can do. And he hasn't got Ben Rama ahead of him now. So if we're short of clash, if we are short of cash, I hear Devo is flush indeed. £4 million. Someone like Maidenhead, mental. People like a new signing indeed. Sounds like Guilherme's impressing. Yeah, I think it was Cress said how he's been really impressed with his aptitude and how he's cracking on because he has, he's 18, doesn't speak any of the Kings, and obviously apart from a word here, word there, obviously he's learning it. But when he came to us, I think he just went. There was like 2 words I think he said in the interview. Watching the pre-season, nice to see interacting. Exactly, Michael. Even people like Zuma, who we know isn't, he'd rather get him out. And like Danny Ings, but what I also like to see, Michael, was him. He was interacting with the youth team players as well. Julie Robinson, he's a George Earthy. You can see him, and it seems a nice dynamic. And for me, seeing him on the touchline, he has an aura about him. He has a don't mess with me aura about him, which I think maybe we need. Particularly in terms of how we improve the team dynamic. Obviously yesterday we spoke about no planes, no trains, no bills, no mobile phones and things like that. That to me is exactly what we need. We need to get that team spirit back together. And again, he's still. I've been listening to a few interviews he's been talking about. Still talks about bringing the noise. That needs to be a T-shirt. bring the noise, both on and off the pitch. We'd love Cornet to come good. And so, yep, totally agree. He certainly has. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did we make a single mistake? But we didn't make a single. Everyone who left showed they aren't. That's what I've been saying, though. That's what I've been saying, mate. I think in terms of you could go back all the players that we've let go. Okaflex, Side Haska Badanovic, Martin Samuelson, all these players. I haven't heard of them since. Just haven't heard of them at all. Reece Oxford was the next best thing, wasn't he? He had what's in his pocket. Ozil in his pocket against Arsenal when we beat them at the Emirates. And then he had to sort of like move around three or four clubs, maybe even more in Germany until he sort of found his feet. Still hasn't appeared on, haven't really heard of him since. So I just joined. Do you think we'll go after Tony? Yeah, I think we will. We'll talk about that later on at Hammer's Headlines. We're smiling, so that was a surprise indeed. But maybe they both think they're going, they want out, maybe. Loopy's rules: 1, all go by coach. No, 2, no mobiles, indeed. I don't think it's just to help the carbon footprint, as something that Sean said, which seemed the right bollocks to say. I think that's really important. That sort of team dynamic. Ryan Fredericks is available on the free. There we go. I liked Flash. We'd see the Cornet at his best playing with Antonio Kudus. Just sounds so attractive. It does it. I mean, there is a good player there, isn't there? There's definitely a good player there. He's ex-Spurs, so no thanks. Well, he played for us as well, Matt. Reece was still struggling with his injuries. The guy is hella unlucky, but I think we let him go before the injuries happened. Really, I think there's we need to trust the process when it comes to the academy. We've got good players there. Kenny Brown, top man, love Kenny. And it was his birthday yesterday, same as TC's. And we got good West Ham, and we got West Ham people all in that academy. They know the ones. They can tell the ones. Yeah, we might try and get Kenny on maybe before the season, because I'd love to talk to Kenny about what he wants. His KPIs for next season. Players into the first team. What does he want for the 21s? What does he want for the under 18s? So that'd be really interesting. How things change ahead of the 27 season. Was named. Yeah, he was. I love Flash. Which academy players do you believe will be in our squad this season? George Earthy, I think Kalen, I think Freddie or Lewis, and I think the other one will go out on loan. And you might see someone like Callum Marshall get some game time. I really want Julie Robinson involved. I think he's for me, he reminds me of Carl Walker in terms of how he plays as a right back. Really, fast, forward thinking. I think he'd do a really good job. Now, obviously, Dan Chester's been released. It's gone to Salford. I think there's an opportunity for him. So I always thought there'd be an opportunity for Dan Chester to come back from loan. But yeah, those are the main ones, I think. Samuelson, wasn't he in the Karate Kid? He was, but it was Danielson. You get first in training. There we go. Good morning, Gary. Hope you're well. Casey, loan or fast track? I wouldn't fast track him. Don't think so. No, I think Kane is a great player. He doesn't, but he's a good centre half. Wouldn't say he's outstanding. He's a good centre half. He's tall. Wouldn't say he's particularly quick. I wouldn't say he'll put a 30-yard raking pass in, but he'll do a good job. So maybe on loan could help him, but no, I just not fast tracked. Will we see a repeat of 99 where so many players were? Possibly. I mean, you look at that side, obviously Obama's gone. You've got the likes of Ollie Skulls, good player. You've got the likes of Lewis Orford. You've got Kalen. You've got George Earthy. You've got Gideon Kadoa, who's been, I think he'll probably get on loan this season. But you don't want to send too many of them out alone because you want to still have a decent under 21 side as well. So it's about a balancing act and getting the right loan deal. Obviously, Heggy's gone to Motherwell on loan. I think Heggy will come back next season and take that number two shirt for us. But yeah, they've got some good players, some really good players. I think Michael Forbes is a good player. I think Michael Forbes going to Bristol Rovers on loans a fantastic move for him. I really like him. Patrick Kelly, love Patrick. Old PK, he's brilliant. Sean Moore's a good player as well. They've got some really good players. And that's what I need to watch. We'll be starting it again in a couple of weeks' time, the Academy show every Monday. So you guys know these players. So you know them. And you look like you know what you're talking about when it comes to the Academy. Don't think we should keep any Academy players. I'd rather them go, yeah, but I think you want to. I mean, that's also, didn't they? That's what Brentford did. They got rid of it completely. I agree. Needs to be set and Ollie Scars. Yeah, I think Ollie's still injured. I think Ollie was injured. We can't moan too much. Has played every game. Hopefully, he may encourage youngsters to join the academy. Quite possibly, mate. Quite possibly. I mean, he is an academy boy. 14. Joined us from under 14s. It seemed, and I think there's definitely, an advert for staying at West Ham. Did you see what Sean said about Nobes' role? No, what did he say, Essex? Let me know. Casey's alone. I want academy players to go and get game time. I totally agree. Isn't travelling by coach not good for the players sitting on? Well, then you got on the plane, there's all the cabin pressure. I think for me, he is, I think it's more about team bonding. They did. £4 million. It was maybe more, but they negotiated. That was part of the issue with the game, with the whole sort of Kilman, why it took so long, was because Wolves didn't want to pay Maidenhead that much. So they agreed to take less money to get the deal through. We've apparently got the same issue with Duran Duran and Chicago Fire, apparently. But in reply to a tweet, he said, if I was being unkind, I would say or to be kind, he's an apprentice learning as much as he can from Tim. Well, let me tell you, Essex, Mark Noble is, for me, the way his role at the moment is very much around the pathway. A pathway, he's not football director, whatever he's called. He's that conduit between the academy and the first team. He is at Shadow Reef every day. He is sitting there, he's talking to Kenny, he's talking to all the players. He's that sort of link to the first team, which I think we need. At the moment you've got, if he wasn't there, there wouldn't be necessarily a direct link, and he is a direct link in terms of the first team's thoughts, and then towards him and Tim and Kenny and stuff like that. So he's there every day. So I half agree with that. But the thing is, Nobes wouldn't want to do it just to be ceremonial. Otherwise, he'd have stayed and been a club ambassador. That's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to make a difference. And his difference is within the youth team, is within the academy. That's the difference for him. Do you think if Downs leaves now will be part of the first team? Quite possibly. If you get rid of them, we need to replace them with the age group squads. I mean, Australia, is any truth to a possible? Nah, he ain't going nowhere. Have we offered new deal to Orforders? Well, his deal runs out at the end of the next year. Personally, if I was him, I think what he's doing is he's going to wait until we'll see what happens in terms of the club. If he wants to go on loan, we did a similar thing with Callum Marshall, where they had to sign a new deal and then they went on loan. I think Lewis is looking at his options and seeing if he's going to get regular football, if he's going to get some football, or there's going to be some conversation of him in the first team. That's what I think personally, but we'll wait and see. Bones would cost 150 million. My non-leagues team, AU, is currently scoring lots. I think that's Ceci's barber as well. Made his mind up to be Mr. West Ham. Nothing but support for that. I reckon we'll try, but it won't happen. I reckon if West Ham goes to Liverpool, oh bless me. Gordon was looking to go to Liverpool, wasn't it, to try and balance the books. I think Newcastle need to balance the books before they can set anyone. But anyway, do you think Loppy will drop players who, unlike Taggart, who played them regardless? I think he will. I think he's quite a tough man, in all honesty. He has an aura of being like a real tough nut. I just watched him, and yeah, he seems to have like a softer side, but that you cross him, and I think that's the best type of coach, the one who has that level of respect that people aren't going to fuck with him, but they'll be friends with him and they'll have a bit chummy. But if you fuck with him, you know it. Anyway, peeps, I'm gonna have to go. Unfortunately, I'm very, very sorry. As I said, if you're new around here, don't forget to like, comment, share. I hope you enjoyed the little live. We try and do these on a Friday. Maybe some of you might want to talk to me next time. Apart from Anton just phoning up like a prank call, like Simpsons. We will have Hammer's headlines in a bit, talking about some links and talking about some youth team players as well. We're hopefully going to be signing new deals soon. Don't forget to like, comment, share. Also, don't forget, we've got Surfshark. If you're abroad and you want, I don't know, I said, I was going to say like Chris, who's going to fly out, but he's going to miss the game. So there's no point. But maybe maybe Mrs. Ross wants to catch up on the latest EastEnders. Obviously, Chris can't do that on his iPad. So what he has to do is he has to get something like Surfshark, and then you can watch UK content. There we go. Best fan channel and mods is Hammer's Chat. I was waiting for that to or is West Ham Fan TV, or is the Three Hammers? I was just waiting for you to say so. Or is the West Ham Man Official? Because that's you, GP. Wherever happens in America, I don't know. Enjoy the weekend. Get those likes, and indeed, has to start. Yes, great shout. Thank you, Leslie. As I said, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a lovely, bloody good subscribe. And it's coming home. Come on, you Irons, and come on, you Three Lions on Sunday. Take care. Much love. See you soon. Bye.